So project work is not really one activity, it's often a series of activities, and these activities are linked together in some way, and they normally have an end result. Project work is also student-centred and hands-on. It's very practical work that we can do in the classroom, and it can be individual, so some parts of project work children might be working on their own, but in some ways it's also group work. So it could be, pair work, big groups, it can be any of those things. And also project work, sometimes people think that project work is more for higher levels, but actually, as we'll see with some practical examples later, it can be for many different levels and for lots of different ages as well. I'm going to give you a quote now, and this is from an author of a book called Projects with Young Learners. The author is Diane Phillips, and she says about project work that one way to get children doing what they like while still learning is through projects. So let's have a think first of all about what children in our classes like, what they like doing. Now I'm sure you know the answer to this question with your experience of teaching. Playing games, yeah, acting, singing, yeah, games, acting out, watching films, having fun. This is something that we could do with not very special materials, just ordinary materials that we have all the time in the classroom. So to organise this so it won't take too much time in the classroom, if we're going to make board games, the teacher could make the boards. So like this yellow board, for example, I could make one of these per group, and it doesn't need a lot of detail, just some numbers, start, finish. You could add a few game elements like miss a turn or go back one space, for example. You could then, to make the board game, the children would be able to make some little vocabulary cards like the little pictures of colours and toys I have here. Now these need to be the same size as the squares on the board, so the children can put them on the board when they've finished to make the game. The idea for the game is that once all the little pictures have been finished, you can put them on the board, and then you take it in turns to roll the dice, move around the board, and of course when you land on one of the items you say that word in English. The children might make, for example, some kind of poster. They could bring some photographs of their family, for example. They could make this a digital poster really as well. It doesn't have to be on a piece of card or paper. Many people have digital photographs these days, and so they could make something digitally too. Some of you have mentioned that. They could find some pictures, and when they are finding these pictures they'll be using 21st century skills again, because they will be choosing photographs, comparing, contrasting. They could draw family members as well, so they could draw people from their family, and then they will be developing some creativity. The poster design involves some creativity too. And I'd like to end with a Chinese proverb, a very nice proverb which I like, which is tell me and I'll forget, show me and I'll remember, but involve me and I'll understand.